Hello. So I guess the theme today is superheroes, so I'm going to start off by reading your minds. You're thinking, what in the world is a Fab Lab, and why would I even care about something? And I thought the exact same thing when I was at work last summer, and my boss came to me and said, "Hey Lauren, you want to go to the Fab Lab tonight?" And I was like, what? Okay, I can figure this out. Lab, okay, laboratory, I got that down. That's good. Fabulous? Okay, so laboratory where they research fabulousness. And at this point I was really confused. So my boss told me, no. Fabrication laboratory. I'm like, oh, okay, so you make stuff. That sounds cool. I'm an electrical engineering student, so of course that's my thing. So it was really hot out, and we decided to walk down there, and it was on the other side of campus, second oldest building. So we get there, and this building on the outside kind of looked like it was falling apart in the early days, and I was like, oh, what have I gotten myself into? And so we walk in, and then there's all this intimidating machinery and equipment, and then we walk right past it into a meeting, which I haven't figured out the correct word for it yet, but not expected, but totally makes sense because it was my boss taking me here. Anyway, so that's actually the room we sat in. There were a bunch of people there, and I'm horrible with names, so we went around the table really fast, and then I didn't remember anybody's name, and I had no idea what anybody was talking about, and so I'm just trying to blend in at this point. But during this meeting, I learned a lot. I learned about the global Fab Lab network. So there's a bunch of Fab Labs all over the world, every continent except Antarctica for obvious reasons. But the goal of them is to bring personalized fabrication to the general public. So just like you can go out and buy a book on C++ and then you can start programming anything you want, then you can have any sort of software you want within a reasonable amount of time. You can't really do that with most, I can't go out and make myself a ball valve just in my garage. I don't have that sort of capability. But at the Fab Lab, you do have the capability to make those sorts of things. And they really try and make it affordable to the general public. So you basically just pay for material costs, and you don't have to pay for an $18,000 laser cutter. So for a student like me, that's really, really great. So they've got laser cutters, they've got modellas, which is a little rotary thing that you can make circuit boards and 3D stuff on, and they've got 3D printers and an electronic shop. So me being an engineering student, this was awesome. This was like, if you brought heaven to earth, this is the Fab Lab for me. So the meeting ended, and they were like, oh, so you want to actually make stuff? And I was like, yeah. So all the software is open source, so I get on the program we use to cut stuff on the laser, and the normal beginning project is a keychain. So I draw a little diamond and with a little circle in it and put my name in it. And we go to print it out, and it ends up to be about the size of, if you look from the tip of your fingernail to your first knuckle, that's about how big my keychain was, and you literally could not fit a pin through the hole for the keychain. And so that was a failure, and then I did it again, and it was slightly larger, and it was better, but you still couldn't really fit a keychain into it. And then I went home. And so the next week my boss came to me, and she was like, so it's open again this Thursday, you want to go again? And I said, yes. Because I was gonna do this. And eventually, I spent another couple days working on this stuff, and eventually I became pretty good at it. They make it pretty easy. Their goal is outreach to junior high and high school age people, so you should be able to do stuff. I'm an engineering student. I should be able to make stuff. So finally, I didn't get a picture of this on here, but I found the first thing I did correct the first time was I made valentines on a laser cutter, which I don't know if you can see, they don't look like much, but when you tell your friends that you cut out their Valentine with a 50-watt laser in your spare time, they're kind of impressed. And you get some major bragging rights, like, oh yeah, I went in my spare time today, I played with lasers. So that's always a fun reason. And then somebody came up to me, I guess this was after. Before that, somebody came up to me and be like, hey, we're having our grand opening. And I was like, we're not open? But then this happened, and this was really awesome because it showed that a bunch of people came, is what this is showing, that there really is a lot of need in our community for something like this. And there are a lot of people who don't currently have the capabilities to make cool stuff. And it's also really brought a really big sense of community to the people who are there. This was the great sandwich fabrication event that we had. So we had sandwiches, and it happened to land on May Day. And so there's the maypole that we made. We also get to do a lot of other cool stuff. Mary Kay, who is over there, is currently making puppets whose eyes light up, and they're a lot less creepy than they sound, I promise. But she's going to be donating some of them to children's charities. So I guess in conclusion, I encourage everybody to come to the Fab Lab and build something. I know everybody has something that they've always wanted to build, but have never had the capabilities. So come to the Fab Lab, I guess.
Wow.